What is up YouTube, how goes it? So you knew this review was coming super soon, and here it is. After having about a little over a week to play with the new iPhone 12 Pro, I definitely have had the chance to observe all of its neat little features, what this little guy has to offer, and who it might be for. So in this video, we're going to do a comprehensive review and see what it brings to the table. As always, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to my channel so I can grow and provide more amazing content for you guys. Let's get started. Let's start with the most prominent change on the new iPhone 12 Pro, which is its design. So design on the iPhone 12 Pro has taken some of the best elements from previous generation iPhones to create what I consider to be the most premium looking iPhone I've seen to date. Starting with the side of the iPhone, you can see that Apple has definitely borrowed the concept of flat edges from the iPhone 4 and 5 days. However, they've enhanced that concept by combining the stainless steel that was introduced with the iPhone 10 and above and making this beautiful new flat stainless steel surgical grade design that looks great in no matter which of the four colors you get it in. This trend continues with the rear side of the iPhone, where they've borrowed the matte glass finish style from the iPhone 11 Pro, and this looks just as good as it did with that because of all the gorgeous color options you have on the 12 Pro. With that being said, Apple also brought the concept of having stainless steel rings around each of the lenses from the iPhone 11 Pro as well. And once again, this really gives the phone a nice aesthetic look that feels premium but simple at the exact same time. Now, as we go on to the front side of the iPhone 12 Pro, I was both disappointed and impressed at the exact same time. Starting off with the disappointing element is that the notch on the iPhone is the exact same as the one on the iPhone 10. This is the 4th generation iPhone to carry this tradition. The notch in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the fact that Apple has not changed it in any way, form, or shape just shows that they could have put more effort into making a smaller notch for sure, and that would have been a nice change. With that being said, on the flip side, the display on the 12 Pro feels considerably larger than the 11 Pro, and that is because it is in fact 3 inches bigger diagonally. However, it gives the illusion of being a lot bigger, and I think this has to do with the thinner bezels and the overall flat design of the 12 Pro, and you really feel this experience when you're using the phone in general, especially coming from a 11 Pro or an iPhone 10 or 10s. Now that we've moved past design, let's talk about cameras. So I find that the iPhone 12 Pro is in this awkward position as a product because it has the same wide lens camera as the iPhone 12. However, it doesn't actually have the very best camera that Apple has to offer. That's reserved for the more powerful iPhone 12 Pro Max. With that being said, the wide lens camera has definitely improved drastically on both the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. You have better nighttime shots and you have great shots during bright daytime. So for example, if you take a picture of the sky, no longer do you have to worry about one area of the picture being more dark or colors being inaccurate or the contrast being out of control. The light blue sky appears light blue, the clouds appear slightly off-white, and you have that nice outline of the sun where it's available. And this is a great addition to the HDR photo taking capabilities of the iPhone. On the other side, when you're taking low light photos, you'll find that the iPhone 12 Pro has definitely improved over the iPhone 11 breaking the nighttime shots. Not that the 11 Pro was bad, however the 12 Pro definitely has more sharpness and clarity in nighttime shots for sure. Of course, some of this also has to do with the new LiDAR scanner, which we'll get to in just a minute. It's also worth noting that you can now take night mode shots with the ultra wide lens on top of being able to take them with the wide lens. This is great because now you can grasp a more wide picture in nighttime with great clarity, and once again, this is thanks to the LiDAR scanner. The final change I want to talk about is an improved optical image stabilizer. This is good, so you should see more smooth footage. The iPhone 12 Pro Max once again has the better version of this because it has in-body image stabilization, or sensor shift as Apple calls it. Basically, this means that the sensor itself stabilizes as opposed to the lens, which in theory should provide much greater smoothness during footage recording and nighttime shots in general. Finally, moving on to video, needless to say, the iPhone has the best in-class video recording camera I've seen on a smartphone, period. With Dolby Vision, this theoretically gets even better because you have a new standard of HDR. Of course, how good this is going to be in day-to-day use is something we'll find out as people make more and more use of that standard of HDR, so we'll keep an eye on that. Speaking of cameras, the next big signature feature Apple introduced to the iPhone 12 12 Pro exclusively is LiDAR. LiDAR basically stands for light detection and ranging. This scanner essentially allows your iPhone to become spatially aware. It's able to see how far an object is from the phone itself. It's also able to calculate the difference between two reference points at the exact same time. And because it's able to map the environment around it, it can actually pinpoint where an object is and use this to enhance augmented reality features and keep an object pinpointed towards a certain location without losing its dimensions. Additionally, you can also use LiDAR to scan someone's height, for example. Now, I believe as more and more third-party application developers start utilizing this piece of hardware, we'll see all kinds of other cool functionality come from it, such as AR-based games or other metric-based apps. It'll be cool to see what the community does with LiDAR in general. Let's talk about the next big feature. You probably know what this is: 5G. If you haven't heard that word in the past few weeks, you're probably living under a stone because it's been thrown all over the place by Apple and it's been all over the internet. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how beneficial 5G might be because plenty of YouTubers and the internet in general has already done that. Needless to say, 5G definitely brings a new element of speed for usability in terms of data usage. However, for the current day user, 5G isn't that practical or applicable just yet because a lot of areas don't have true 5G yet, and also many places that do have 5G are actually reporting lower speeds than even LTE because it's not optimized quite yet. With that being said, getting an iPhone 12 Pro is more of a future-proof decision, so even though 5G isn't that prominent yet, I can bet you in 3-4 years from now, it most definitely will be, and that'll be a huge benefit of having a phone that has 5G capability already built in. One area where I most definitely want to go into is the overall cellular reception of the iPhone 12 Pro. I think the cellular reception has improved drastically compared to the 11 Pro and previous iPhones in general. I noticed this first when I was in my basement. I noticed that I was getting a really good LTE reception along with 5 bars. This was never the case with my 11 Pro. It was much more inconsistent in basements and underground settings in general. I think the antennas on the 12 Pro have drastically improved, and this is also visible when I'm on the phone, especially once again when I'm in basements. The call quality seems to be much more clear compared to the 11 Pro. So kudos to Apple for making that enhancement. Let's talk performance. So with iPhone 12 Pro, Apple introduced the A14 Bionic chip. And as if the A13 wasn't fast enough, the A14 is just stupid fast at this point. Apple claims it's up to 50% faster than any other smartphone mobile chip available in the market. While I don't discredit that, it's just nearly impossible to prove because of how efficient the A14 already is. Every application you can imagine runs super smooth, whether it's a game, a rendering application, or anything of that nature. The A14 will breeze through it just like previous iPhone chips have done so in the past. Another new feature on the iPhone 12 Pro, one that Apple never publicly announces, is the addition of 2 additional gigabytes of RAM on the iPhone 12 Pro, which brings it to a total of 6 gigabytes. This is great because that means you can now keep even more applications open without having to reload them. I'll be honest, in a general day-to-day usage perspective, the average user won't really notice a huge difference between 4 gigabytes and 6 gigabytes of RAM. However, it's nice to know that additional functionality is there. Furthermore, I do believe that because of Dolby Vision and the HDR recording capabilities on the iPhone 12 Pro, that additional RAM almost became a necessity for Apple to include. So it's not just some act of generosity, but most definitely a functional need. Apple also introduced another feature on the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, and that is of course the addition of the ceramic shield. Now, Apple claims you get 4 times better drop performance. Exactly what this means is anyone's guess because I just don't understand how they measure this. However, with that being said, everything Apple Pro actually did a drop test, and the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are definitely more durable and less likely to crack compared to the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. So that's a nice addition to have. Additionally, they also claim because of the dual ion exchange process, these screens should be more scratch resistant against key scratches or nicks and dimes in your pocket in general. Finally, one more observation I made with the iPhone 12 Pro is the improved speakers. Now, if you remember, the iPhone 11 Pro already upped the speaker game and were one of the best sounding smartphone speakers speakers you could have. However, with the iPhone 12 Pro, this was taken to another step. Have a listen for yourself.
What is up YouTube, how goes it? In today's video, we're actually going to be covering a pretty popular phone case for the new iPhone 12 and 12 Pro series, and that is the one by MagSafe. That's right, MagSafe has been making magnetic phone cases long before the MagSafe was even a consideration.
The final feature I want to talk about is MagSafe. So MagSafe has already gotten plenty of coverage. You can check out some of the videos I made in the description below. There will be links posted. But what I want to say on MagSafe is that while it's a great feature, it has its limitations. For example, if you use a third-party case that does not support MagSafe, then the magnetic connection becomes too weak to even hold the MagSafe charger. And I definitely think that MagSafe will be improved in future iPhones. I think it's more of an experimental feature right now, to be honest, but it will get better over time as more and more third-party vendors start taking advantage and include MagSafe into their respective cases and accessories. There are, of course, plenty of other small features that Apple either improved or introduced with the iPhone 12 Pro. However, these are the key highlights I thought were worth mentioning in my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you have any questions about the iPhone 12 Pro, let me know in the comment below and let me know what you think of the iPhone 12 Pro in general, or whether or not you will be upgrading or if you already have upgraded. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really does help me grow, provide more future quality content for you guys while keeping me motivated all at the same time. As always, until next time, Soul of Tech, logging out.